The Seattle Seahawks had a really good day on the offensive line, and today we're going to analyze the tape. The Seahawks are healthy with both their center and right guard back. They're 100% good to go at this point. On top of that, they also brought in Jason Peters to step in at right tackle, and he played this game, and he looked very impressive. And in my opinion, against the Commanders, this Seahawks offensive line dominated. So with that being stated, let's get right into the tape. In my opinion, one of the best things to do when you're analyzing tape is to watch your best offensive lineman take on the best defensive lineman on the other team. In this instance, Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne are two of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And of course, if you want to be considered one of the best offensive lines, like the Seattle Seahawks, in my opinion, are, you got to be able to handle these guys up front. And I definitely felt like in this game, those two guys are pretty much a non-factor majority of the game. Right? There's so many snaps where they don't really do anything. On this one here, I would say the right tackle does not do a good enough job initially here. And because of that, you'll see that Walker's not able to hit the lane here because it does develop on the inside. If you guys watch the right tackle, Stone Fortsey doesn't do a good enough job, but it does make sense, right? We also got to understand Daron Payne is one of the best defensive linemen in the country, right? So he's able to easily jump to the inside gap. Although if you guys look at this play, specifically, look at the double team by Phil Haynes and Eben Brown to move the nose tackle out of there. Look at this. Look at that movement that those two guys generated. Based off the blocks here, the lane should have developed inside, and I think that would have been a much bigger gain because the right guard here is reaching up to the linebacker there. But of course, it doesn't always work like that. One of the reasons here is because the defensive tackle is standing in the gap. So the running back has to hit it to the left. And with that, because the offense linemen were blocking their guys out that way, it was a lot easier for those defense linemen to make the play. Not a big deal, still a gain of about 4 yards. Let's go ahead and get into the next snap. Check this play out. Watch the left guard Damian Lewis against Jonathan Allen. And watch how Lewis is going to jump set this or quick set it and get his hands right into Jonathan Allen. He really throws the timing off on the entirety of this play, and he shuts this down. Of course, the offensive line, generally speaking, does a pretty good job. This is 3rd and 10. This is a true pass rush situation. And of course, the Seattle Seahawks do a good job. And of course, they're going to pick up 9 yards on this one. But a big part of it is what the left guard does on this. That's a great job to jump set it. It's a great job to get your hands quickly to the offensive lineman who's going to swap the hands down. But Lewis keeps a really solid base, so he doesn't get thrown off balance. Throws the punch there. The D tackle swipes it away. But Damian Lewis is not leaning. He just readjusts the hands, gets them right back onto Jonathan Allen, and then he ultimately shuts this down. And then the center does a good job sliding to that same side. The right guard's also in a one-on-one. Really nice job by Phil Haynes. He has Daron Payne. I think people would say Daron Payne is better than Jonathan Allen. And he does a nice job as well, right? He's in a true one-on-one. And again, these are the type of blocks that matter in these type of moments. This is how you win football games. 3rd and 10. This is not an ideal situation for the offense. And the offensive line steps up and gets it done. And the quarterback delivers. Really nice job. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Some people make the argument number 89 is the best blocking tight end in the NFL, and I would not disagree. The guy is very good. You see plays like this where you pick up 7 yards on the offensive side, and it only works because of the reach block by that tight end. The fact that this tight end sets himself up to the inside, he's going to be able to fully flip the hips, and that's massive right there. Because sometimes when it's not there on the front side or these blocks don't necessarily work and the lanes aren't really opening up, you have to bend it back to the inside. And this block right here is ultimately the difference between a play having success or a play not working. So that's a really nice job by Will Dissly. Beautiful job by the tight end. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. So you got a 3rd and 4. And to me, this is why I think Phil Haynes is one of the best right guards in the NFL. It's because of plays like this. And it's actually very interesting if you guys think about the alignment of this play. And we're going to talk about it here in a second. But I want you guys to watch the play. So it isn't a complete pass, 3rd and 4. The Seahawks eventually punt the football. But I want you guys to think about what the Washington Commanders are doing with the front right now. So you got a defensive end coming off the edge here. You got another one coming off the edge here. That means the 2 tackles will occupy those 2 guys. Then that leaves 1, 2, and 3 players, which should occupy the left guard, the center, and the right guard. But if you guys look at the individualized matchup, the Commanders are putting Daron Payne in the long 3 technique, and he's going to be going up against Phil Haynes. So this right here is by design of the Washington Commanders. They want to get their best defensive lineman against Phil Haynes. They think they can have an advantage against him, and that was not the case at all. I mean, Phil Haynes crushes this guy. I mean, that's such a dominant rep by Haynes. He absolutely beats this guy, gets right to him, and he shuts his ass down. I mean, that's exactly what I like to see right there by Haynes. One of the best guards in the NFL. With that being stated, let's go ahead and get into the next snap. Now, obviously, I really like Phil Haynes, but I also do acknowledge that Damian Lewis is a top 5 left guard in the NFL. If not, he is one of the top 2 or 3 guys at that position. The guy's an absolute superstar. Now, I do want to show you guys a sequence of 3 back-to-back plays, starting with this first one here. Jonathan Allen's going to club Damian Lewis, and he's going to really get him off balance. This doesn't oftentimes happen to Lewis, but he definitely got caught off balance a little bit. He didn't expect Jonathan Allen to club him the way he does here. That's a very good move right there by Allen. Now, I want to show you guys back-to-back plays, and the reason why is because Damian Lewis was clearly not expecting this out of Allen. Over the past couple of plays, Allen was quarterback spying, so he wasn't really pass rushing. I think he caught Lewis off balance on that one. But on the very next one, keep in mind, 2nd and 4 true pass rush situation out of an empty formation. Once again, it's going to be Damian Lewis in a one-on-one against Jonathan Allen. This time he's ready for it. And watch what he's going to do right out of his stance. He's going to get the left hand right into Jonathan Allen. He's going to bait him, and he's going to anchor down against him. So really nice job right there by Lewis to recognize what happened the play before and to come back on the very next play and make sure that Jonathan Allen doesn't do that again, right? What he was able to basically do. Love the ghost move here. Love the fact that he gets the left hand in there. Basically make Allen hit his pass rush move. The left hand isn't really meant to do anything outside of make the defensive tackle react. He does. And as he reacts, Lewis basically brings the left arm back down. That's a great job to get a guy off balance. And then from there, he just anchors down. So really nice rep by Damian Lewis. But I did say back to back. So here's the 3rd rep here. This time the slide will be to the left. But Lewis is still going to ultimately take Jonathan Allen. And he does do a really nice job once again shutting him down before passing him off and then helping the left tackle out. So again, great job to recognize what happened on that very first play. And on back-to-back plays, really to come back and kind of shut it down. It's a good adjustment right there. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Check out the savvy 41-year-old veteran on this one. You're going to get a play action bootleg to the right. The guy's going to snatch down the defensive lineman. That's a really nice job to be able to get the hands to this defensive lineman. Keep in mind, they're making it look like it's some sort of zone run to the left. So Jason Peters has to sell this, and he does a great job with the snatch right there on the defensive lineman. Love the advanced technique to basically get the guy into the ground, and of course the quarterback's going to get the ball out. And Tyler Lockett's going to pick up 7 yards on this one, so really nice job. Let's get into the next snap. You got a very basic power run towards the right out of shotgun. But sometimes these basic plays just work. You know, when you have guys that are good, that are smart, and you have a defense that's going to try to play a light box, especially that, you're not going to be able to stop these plays right here. Especially if the offensive linemen execute their blocks. And in this one, pretty much every single one of these guys execute their blocks, including the tight end. So let's analyze this play a little bit. I would say the blocks that really set this up are going to be the double team block here. But more than the double team, it's going to be the seal off by Jason Peters. And then the guard here is going to actually take on the backside linebacker. And you'll see number 84, the tight end, get up front side linebacker. And then you'll get a seal here. And then, of course, Lewis comes out and he's going to kick out the defensive end here. And the running back's going to hit it right through that gap. So really nicely done job by the entire offensive line. You get the double team here, but ultimately it is Peters that's going to make the block. He's the guy that really has to hold the gap. And then you see 84 get up to the linebacker there. You see the right guard get up to the backside linebacker. You see Damian Lewis pull, kicks out. That's a powerful ass block right there. You see Damian Lewis literally stand number 97 up. When you watch number 97 come full speed and try to take the power on, he's going to try to get underneath Lewis. And just look at the power right there behind the block. Like 97 gets straight, stood up, and pushed backwards. You do not expect that from guys that are sub 300 pounds. So to me, that's a really nice job by Damian Lewis. Of course, the running back's able to hit the gap. He picks up 13 yards on this one. That's a really nice job. Watch the block here by the right guard, right tackle on this defensive lineman. And watch how they ultimately turn this guy and pick up 6 yards off of that. It's a really nice job by those two guys. Even the center does a nice job, although he has a seal-off block, which is a little bit easier. Just a really nice job by the offensive line, the interior guys specifically. Obviously, at the moment, Jason Peters is playing. He's rotating in and out with Stone Fortsy. At least that's kind of what it looked like on tape to me. But I think as the season goes on, until Abraham Lucas gets back, Jason Peters should be the starting tackle. He is clearly better than any of the other tackles that the Seahawks have, minus Abraham Lucas. So I love the fact that the Seahawks brought this guy in. He's a very good offensive tackle still, provides depth, veteran leadership. He's the type of guy you want in the locker room. Check this play out. There's 31 seconds left in the first half. The Commanders are going to widen their defensive tackles out. And they're notoriously known to do this. This isn't the first time they've done this season. So Geno Smith's going to check into a run, which is a great call by Geno Smith. He recognizes what the Commanders are doing. If they're going to give him that type of gap, they're going to take it. And they're going to run with the football. And to me, this was a great call. Someone messes up here. I'm not sure exactly who it is. I believe it's the left guard. But the play still ends up working for 12 yards. So it's a great job by Smith to audible into it. Good job by the offensive lineman to execute it. To me, I think it is the left guard that's going to make the mistake. Because what's going to end up happening is both the right guard and left guard are going to take steps back. And they're going to kind of look into each other before Lewis is ultimately going to make the adjustment and kind of climb up to the linebacker here. So watch this play. Watch the left guard, right guard. They both kind of turn right into each other. Not a big deal, right? Because Lewis does do a great job recognizing that he is not the guy that's supposed to pull within this play. And you can tell he's not supposed to be the guy based off the center. So the center here is going to cover the guy that's ultimately pulling. That's why he's going over to the right. So Lewis makes a mistake, but he does process it quick enough where he's able to climb up and ultimately seal off the linebacker. The running back sees the lane develop. And just like that, you pick up 12 yards. Pretty nice job right there. Let's get into the next snap. You have a 3rd and 4, and the center here is going to get credited for a sack. But I would make the argument that this sack is more so on the quarterback as opposed to the offensive line. You know, sometimes a quarterback has to get the ball out. He has to throw the football. And keeping in mind there's 4 guys rushing. Guys are running these games and they're stunting. And they're trying to get after the quarterback. It's a true pass rush situation. You got to get the ball out as a quarterback. And in this instance, the quarterback's actually trying to make a play. It's only 4 yards that are needed. So he knows in his mind that he can run with the football. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to outrun the defensive tackle here. The guy that ultimately Evan Brown was responsible for blocking as the swap happened on the defensive line game. And he ends up getting the sack. Now, again, to me, this sack you can't really say is on Evan Brown, although he'll get the credit for the sack. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it does count as a sack. Not a big deal. You keep in mind, the sack actually went for 0 yards. So the quarterback got back to the line of scrimmage. I just wanted to point that one out. Let's get into the next step. Check this play out and watch the execution up front. I mean, this is beautiful if you guys ask me. Like, it does not get better than the blocking right here by the Seattle Seahawks tight ends and offensive linemen. I mean, if you guys really watch this play in slow motion, the first thing you'll see is the tight end goes into motion. You'll also see as he's going into motion, number 89, the tight end lined up here, is going to fake the block on the DN. He's going to climb up to the second level. As he's climbing up, the tight end here is going to basically take the DN. And then you get a guard that's also pulling and he's leading up into the gap. I mean, that's a beautiful job right there by those guys. I mean, it does not get better than the execution that you see right here. Check this block out here by the left guard. This is why you pull Damian Lewis. It's because of blocks like this right here. I mean, that is nasty as hell. He absolutely crushes number 97. This is what you want out of Lewis. This is the type of blocking you want out of this guy. It's a really, really nice job right there. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up. You know, in my opinion, I think the Seattle Seahawks have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. I would make the argument that if the 2 tackles develop into what they should ultimately become, this offensive line is going to be a legit top 2 or 3 unit. Because from Damian Lewis to Evan Brown to Phil Haynes, you have one of the best interior offensive lines in the NFL already. Right? Those guys are absolutely superstar caliber players. And on top of that, Geno Smith's clicking, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, Najigba. You got guys like Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. The offensive unit here for the Seahawks is loaded, and this is a legit Super Bowl competing team. All they got to do is just continue the efforts on the defensive side, and as they continue to get better, I would not be surprised if this team right here wins the Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time with another video.